Hi Cancer, and welcome to your horoscope for March 2025. Thanks for joining me. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: for your rising sign first, then for your sun sign, and finally for your moon sign. So I'm going to break March down into 4 weeks. I'm going to see how the moon moves through your chart, where it supports you, in what areas of life, and when. So the first 9 days of the month, week 1, Saturday the 1st until Sunday the 9th of March. On the 1st of March, we have the moon in Pisces, and that's in your 9th house of travel, spirituality, the higher realms, and education. So for you, this is a good day to discover something new that really inspires you in a creative way. It's on the back of a new moon in Pisces that we had on the 27th of February. I'll make a separate video on that. But that will happen in your 9th house. So there's an opportunity for you to experience something that really inspires you to create some type of work of your own, to express something that really touched your soul. And the first of the month is a continuation of that. Also on the 1st of March, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, that goes retrograde until the 12th of April. And it goes retrograde in your 10th house of work. When Venus is retrograde, it's not a good time to start a new business or a new relationship, because your perspective on what you love is a little off. And with it being in your 10th house, you as a Cancer specifically, I don't think this 6-week period is a great time for you to start any new businesses, because you may by the end of the 6-week period go, what was I thinking? I don't even have an interest in this area. Then on the 2nd and 3rd, the moon moves into Aries, and it goes into your 10th house of work. It joins Venus and Chiron in Aries. So if there's anything about your work that needs fixing, anything that needs kind of healing, if you need to pay attention to work that has been put to the side or that you've procrastinated on, these 2 days are good to get back on top of things. And on the 3rd of March as well, Mercury, the communication planet, that ingresses into Aries and it joins your 10th house. So Mercury in Aries is very forceful. It's very direct. It's very much, I'm the leader. I demand attention and respect. So if there's anything that you have been, and it's not just in your working life, but in any area of your life where you've kind of, bitten your tongue, where you've censored yourself and you felt something really deeply, but you haven't wanted to express it because either it would hurt someone else's feelings or because you were taught that you don't behave this way, we don't speak like this. If it's something that is constructive, as in you get it off your chest because you really want the truth to be known, well, Mercury is in Aries until it goes retrograde on the 15th of March. So the first 2 weeks of this month are really good for you to stand up for yourself and to express things which are important to you and genuine to you. Also, with Mercury being in Aries in your 10th house, if there's some sort of competition for a particular role or a promotion or anything like that, really devote yourself to that. It's likely that you come out on top. On the 4th and 5th, then, the moon moves into Taurus and it goes into your 11th house of hopes and dreams, where it joins Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and the unexpected. And really, I think these 2 days are cause for celebration. So something that you've really devoted yourself to, where you've either spoken your mind or where you've pursued something, where you've presented yourself as the expert, as the leader, as the person in charge. I think the 4th and 5th are days where you can celebrate that achievement that you managed in the days before. On the 6th and 7th, the moon goes into Gemini and it joins Jupiter, the lucky planet, in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. So these 2 days are great for you to feel an innate connection to the higher realms and Jupiter is about growth. So if you have a spiritual practice, or if there's anything that you do that makes you feel connected, like you're in the zone, whether it's being out in nature or playing the guitar or chanting or anything that works for you specifically, do that, because you're going to feel like you have been completely re-energized and you're incredibly empowered. Then the moon goes into your sign of Cancer on the 8th and 9th, and it goes into your first house of self. And what's already sitting in that first house of self is your transiting ascendant, which is who you innately are, Hades, the thing that you don't want to look at, and Mars, ambition and drive, and that's also in Cancer. So on these 2 days, you're really going to understand what you've ignored, what you really want, what you have not given yourself permission to pursue for whatever reason, whether it's what your family has said or what society says. On the 8th and 9th, you're really going to discover that, hey, this is something that's important to me personally, therefore I'm going to pursue it. Also on the 8th, that's the best day of the month to see Mercury in the night sky. Look for the planet low in the sky in the west just after sunset, and Mercury, the communication planet, is in Aries in your 10th. So it's going to be like this glimmering friend up in the sky that says you can do it in your career, in your relationships, in realizing your hopes and dreams, in whatever area of your life. You have what it takes, pursue it, give yourself permission, and it's almost like you have an ally that says, make it happen for yourself. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to get what you want. So this first 9 days of March are incredibly powerful for you, and the moon starts in your 9th and it ends up in your 1st. So that's the 9th house, the 4th quadrant, houses 10, 11, 12, and then the 1st house. So what the first 9 days are going to do for you is that you transcend your life as it is now, and you can see something bigger for yourself in your mind's eye, and you get the confidence to pursue that in earnest and to say, this is what I'm going to make happen for myself. I'm going to pursue it. I'm going to do it. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 10th to the 16th of March. On the 10th, 11th, and 12th, the moon is in Leo, and that's in your 2nd house of money. So that's really good news as far as your income is concerned, as far as taking charge of your assets, your securities, and saying, I've got an idea to either increase my income or to do up the house or to create more financial security for myself, if it's through investments or if it's finding a different bank with a greater savings account rate or whatever it may be. The idea is going to come from you. It's not going to come from anyone else. So if you focus on your finances and what belongs to you, so to speak, on the 10th, 11th, and 12th, you'll be able to make major progress in that area. On the 13th and 14th, the moon then moves into Virgo, and it sits in your 3rd house of communication. That's really interesting because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, the communication planet, and Mercury rules 2 signs, Gemini and Virgo. And Virgo is where you listen, you learn, you pay attention, you analyze the situation, and you come up with meaning yourself. Gemini is more about I talk, I express, I teach, and I articulate things. I put information out there, right? The 3rd house in the traditional astrology chart is ruled by Gemini. So the fact that here we've got the moon in Virgo in the 3rd house means that you're going to find some bit of information which is really conducive to you realizing your hopes and dreams and becoming this person that you're setting out to be. So to transcend your existing self and to flourish into this person that you can only visualize just yet. Particularly on the 14th, we have a lunar eclipse on the south node. It's a full moon in Virgo. And what you're able to do is you're able to let go of misinformation, and you're able to fill that gap with the right information, which is going to be really useful in helping you get to where you want to be. And the influence of an eclipse always lasts 6 months. So until August, you will really be able to find the right information as and when you need it, and you'll be able to make major progress on growing into this upgraded version of yourself that you can see in your mind's eye. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you as you are right now, but you feel inspired that I could do more, I could have more, I could have more joy and excitement and abundance and prosperity in my life. And the 14th particularly is very significant in you finding that first tidbit of information, which is going to help you get there. Then the moon goes into Libra on the 15th and 16th, and it goes into your fourth house of your roots, your family, and what makes you feel grounded and secured. So you'll feel very connected to that area of your life. And I think this is a 2-day period where you can relax a little bit, you can decompress, and you can connect with loved ones, your inner circle, and say, hey, I have this attitude of gratitude. I'm surrounded by people who love me. I'm happy with what I've got. Yes, I've got plans for the future, but certainly I'm enjoying the present. And I'm really grateful for how far I've come already. On the 15th, we've got Mercury, the communication planet, going retrograde until the 7th of April. So expect issues with communication or transportation while Mercury is retrograde. The good thing about a retrograde is that you can see things differently. And it's in your 10th house still, so you'll be able to see other opportunities when it comes to your career, your work, that only you can come up with, and you can see alternatives that would benefit you more. So in week 2, the moon starts in your 2nd house, and it ends up in your 4th house. So that's very much the bottom of your chart, and it's your root. So how can I create more security in my life? How can I get information that empowers me? And how can I enjoy the people and the assets that I've got in my life already? Week 3, Monday to Sunday, the 17th to the 23rd of March. On the 17th, the moon is still in Libra, so this ongoing connection with family is going to be great. On the 18th and 19th, the moon then moves into Scorpio, and it goes into your 5th house of what you love to do and romance and children. And it's next to Vesta in Scorpio in that 5th house as well. And it opposes Uranus and Taurus. And that's interesting because Scorpio is a sign that's able to go beyond the surface and to get to the root cause of things. And it's likely that you discover, despite the retrogrades of Mercury and Venus, that you discover something that you really care about that could be a vehicle to you realizing your hopes and dreams, whether they're career related or relationship related. And it's almost like your intuition is so loud, it speaks to you and it says, this is the thing that you can use to zoom, to charge your way to getting to what you want. So pay attention to those 2 days, particularly what your inner voice is telling you. It's going to be really important. Then on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, the moon goes into Sagittarius and it goes into your 6th house of the structures of your life, your routine, your physical health. I think these 3 days are days where simply there's a wonderful sense of well-being, you having a lot of energy, feeling really optimistic, encouraged that things can improve, can be wonderful. On the 20th, we have the sun going into Aries, and that for you happens in your 10th house of work. So the sun is the identity you're trying to embody, it's your conscious self. And sitting at 1 degree in Aries in your 10th, there'll be more ideas around, hey, this is the direction I can see my work going. But also there's a great sense of, I am empowered, I do have control over my circumstances, and I'm not a victim of my circumstances. I have the ability to influence what happens, and I have the ability to take charge of what goes on in my life. So it really sees you taking on this role of being the leader and the boss and saying, this is what works for me, therefore I'm going to grab it. by the horns and see what happens. Also on the 20th, we have the spring equinox if you're in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the autumn equinox. Regardless of where you are, it's the time where there's nearly equal amounts of daylight and nighttime. And it's balance between light and dark. It's being able to see the shadow self, in your case, the things that kind of hold you back, where you don't give yourself permission, where you censor yourself. And then also being able to see the light, where I could go, who I could be. And I think you're encouraged to say, I recognize the shadow self, I have it under control, and I'm now going to use it almost as fuel to propel myself into this identity that I want to embody moving forward. Week 3, the moon starts in your 4th house and it ends up in your 7th house. So that's the second quadrant, houses 4, 5, 6, and then house 7. And I think this third week is really about figuring out what you love and what you would like to accomplish in future, and how you can use all of your energy to make that happen for yourself. The thing that I'm getting for you, Cancer, here this month is that you're very self-reliant. You're not asking for permission. You're not waiting for someone to help you out. You're just doing it by yourself. And there's very little communication with other people in the sense of, what should I be doing? You know what you ought to be doing for yourself. Week 4, Monday to Monday, the 24th until the 31st of March. Moon still in Capricorn on the 24th, and I don't think I mentioned that. Yes, on the 23rd and 24th of March, so I'm skipping between week 3 and 4 now. The moon's in Capricorn in that 7th house of relationship. If there's anything that needs you to tend to someone else, or to help someone out, to help someone move, or a family member who's having a difficult time and they could use your counsel, your advice, your guidance, the 23rd and 24th are great days where you will have the patience and the presence of mind to be there for another person and to give them that support. The moon then goes into Aquarius on the 25th and the 26th. Those 2 days are good for you to gain some wisdom and to educate yourself around how you can manage your own taxes, or how you can deal with bureaucracy or red tape, or how you can find an alternative way to deal with some sort of official problem that you've got, whether it's legal or there are negotiations involved, or it's contract matters, contractual matters. You'll be able to find the right information again to find a better way forward that only you can find. Then on the 27th and 28th, we've got the moon going into Pisces again, and it goes into your 9th house. What's in there at the moment is Saturn and the North Node and Neptune, and Venus, that's retrograded back into Pisces. It's also in that 9th at this point in the month. And again, it's this opportunity to be inspired by something that is in your environment, something that you expose yourself to, whether it's information or traveling to a new place, or listening to a speaker who inspires you. It's a 2-day period where your creative kind of energy levels are fully charged by something external that comes in that you can then channel into whatever area of your life that you want. On the 27th of March, Venus ingressed back into Pisces. On the 29th of March, Mercury ingresses back into Pisces, both of them being in retrograde. And then on the 29th and 30th, the moon goes into Aries, and it goes into your 10th house of career. What's in there is Mercury now in retrograde, the transiting midheaven, and Chiron, the wounded healer, also in Aries. So that's interesting, because now you may look at your work and you may get the wrong idea. You may see an opportunity here on the 29th or 30th that isn't genuine. So be cautious, pay attention, do your research. On the 29th of March, particularly, we have a solar eclipse on the North Node, and it's a new moon in Aries. So it pulls in a ton of Aries energy. And instead of being presented with an idea via a company or corporation who say, hey, maybe do this for us, or it's someone who says, hey, why don't we do a business partnership? The real blessing of this eclipse, which will influence you until August again, is that you can heal your career by considering something that would make you self-employed. So if you've toyed with that idea, or if you've got a skill or a talent that you could turn into your own business, the 29th of March is going to verify that, and it's going to say, you've got this, that you're very good at. There's a lot of value inherent in this skill or talent or ability. Please consider whether you want to make that a side gig, or whether you want to start your own business, or whether you want to do it on top of your existing job. But the thing that's likely to be faulty is advice from other people, or from some sort of employer, or someone who wants you to do something in tandem with them. And the thing that's going to be really empowering is something that you can do on your own. On the 30th of March, Neptune leaves Pisces, which is epic because Neptune's been in Pisces, the sign it rules, for a long time. And now it goes into Aries, and it goes into your 10th house of career. And again, for you, Cancer, it's time to make the dreams come true as far as your working life is concerned. You end the month on the 31st with the moon being in Taurus again, in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, next to Uranus. And I think it's another day for celebration, to say, hey, well done, look at how far I've come, look at how much progress I've made, and I'm really excited about the future. So this last week, the moon starts on the 24th in your 7th house, and it ends in your 11th house. That's pretty much the top half of your chart, which is the public sphere. So anything that requires you to engage with the public, whether it's education or bureaucracy or career or work, you'll be able to ace all of those things. So don't focus so much on home life, if possible, during the last week of March, but instead throw yourself out there, put yourself out there, and see good results based on those activities. Exactly. Okay. So that's what I get for you here in March. I hope you have a wonderful month. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. To draw up your natal chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, I can use sunrise, but the problem with that is that the ascendant isn't correct, and neither are the house placements. There's a process called chart rectification, and that's where I work out your time of birth based on 10 or more significant life events that you give me. And significant, not just I graduated high school, like meaningful things that have happened in your life. Then I can work out your time of birth. And once I have that, then the natal chart is kind of like a blueprint of who you are. So it shows me life purpose, vocational aptitudes, strengths, weaknesses, family life, finance, romance, spiritual development, hopes and dreams, connections with the authorities. It's really a blueprint of your soul, so to speak. So if you have any questions around understanding yourself better, the chart is amazing for that. To look at what's coming up in future, I look at your progress chart, your transits. If it's around your birthday, a solar return chart is also really good to do. That shows me what's coming up. And if there's anything around location or moving, I look at the astrocartography. That shows me what parts of the world are going to support you and which ones aren't. So if you're thinking of moving, you're not sure where, astrocartography is great for that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please, to help it show up in searches. Subscribe for more videos in future. And if you think anyone else would like this video, then please share it with them. It's what helps the channel grow. I hope you have a fabulous month, and I will speak to you soon. All the best.